Hey everyone! Sorry about the delay on us going Facebook Live, but you know how it goes. Sometimes you have some issues with technical difficulty. So I'm here, and happy Halloween to everybody in the world out there. I'm going to go ahead, if you don't know about this is the third week of us going Facebook Live, so I am currently sharing this out into the world 7 o'clock or so on these lovely Monday nights. I'm going to be touching base, just talking to you a little bit about the shows that I went to last week and the shows that are coming up. Tonight I'm going to keep it a little brief because I'm not feeling 100%. I had a really great attempt at an interview today with Andrew Lavin of a great podcast show, and unfortunately we were having trouble hearing sound on something, so we're going to try again later, and I'll let you know when that episode is up. So I didn't really do a lot for Halloween this year. I figured let's keep it simple, stupid, right? It's kind of that whole world of things. And so, yeah, welcome to Gritty Birds Live on a Halloween evening. There's lots of really great shows coming up tomorrow, and I wanted to start off by naming a few of those that are happening. Okay, first of all, we've got... tomorrow night is Nurses released. They're one of my favorite bands in Portland for some time, and I love their new album. And they're going to be playing at Mississippi Studios, so please go down to that if you are so inclined. I'm actually going to be heading over to see Kraftwerk, C-R-A-F-T, work with friends of mine from bands including Dan and Well, and friend Johan, and Bryson Cohn, who are all going to be playing a free show down at White Owl Club. White Owl, so that's going to be a really fun party. I'll pretty much be wearing this costume because this is the only costume I got. But it's going to be a really fun night, free show, party. And there's a couple other events going on. You can also go down to Killingsworth Dynasty for Goth. The Goth Night is having a special party over there called Gothoween. So if you're up in North Portland and feel like hanging out, head over to Gothoween. It's going to be really fun there. This week there's a few events I just wanted to mention really briefly. So Logan Lynn is going to be playing a show at PSU on Wednesday during the day. Please check that out. There is also on Wednesday the beginning of the All Together Fest, which is TLE. Both Jared Mees, he was on the show earlier this in one of the first seasons. So those back seasons are actually now available to Patreon supporters, and it has a really incredible lineup this year, including Kelly Schaefer and Shanti Darling, Magic Sword, Typhoon, and more throughout a few days at several different venues. And the first night is going to be their 10th release for family and friends, or they're calling it 10. And so that album is coming out, and on Wednesday night it's going to be at Holocene, a really big celebration with Reptilians and Kelly. Black Eagle Scout are some highlights from that one. So go ahead and you can go to Facebook and find the info on All Together Festival, or else to Tender Loving and Empire's sites online. They also have a ton of classes going on as well for that, so please check that out. Speaking of festivals, Siren Nation Festival is going to be coming up in the next couple weeks. So if you're interested in supporting in Portland area really badass women, the arts show, every fall they're having a show down at the Portland 5 Center, an art show down on the 5th. So go ahead and check that out. Excited because this is my 5th year with Siren Nation. So last week after we released this episode, we had a whole bunch of things announced, including the panel that I'm going to be on and the workshop that I'm going to be giving on the November 12th, as well as Gritty Birds live show that is going to be happening on the 17th with a great lineup. So keep track of my socials. I'm going to be posting some video about all that. Last week. So now let's talk about shows that happened last week. There are some more weekend shows that I want to bring up, but that reminded me of it really quick. But those are kind of the big ones. I also wanted to throw out really quick, Jimmy Russell Party City is having a release this weekend on Saturday, and on Sunday for Vortex Magazine, there is a DIY panel at Doug First, and also Jessica Bordeaux is having her release at Holocene as well with Candace. So I'm going to be at those events this week as much as I can. I'm starting to feel a little under the weather, so I'm going to just feel my body, and I'm working on the new episode for Patreon backers. You'll be in Kickstarter backers, you should be getting that on Wednesday, and then it'll be airing on Friday with some edits before our release next week. So again, thanks to everyone who listened in the last week. It was a really big week last week with all the announcements. We didn't make podcast festival. We didn't make the Portland Podcast Festival, but I did get some news yesterday that I've been kind of like waiting for a while, and something really cool went through. But I'm waiting until I want to tell you because I want to make sure that all the dots and things are signed. And I'm excited to be a little more connected in the podcast community. So, yeah, back at it. So let's talk about last week's shows. Okay, I am so stoked. I had such a really fun time going to see The Blow and EMA. Let's just go back in time that way. That was on Saturday night. And The Blow is an interesting band because it's such a performance art piece. It was a perfectly timed and paired piece with EMA, who I last saw at the Portland TBA Festival. So Portland Institute of Contemporary Art, their time-based art festival, is the last time, that I saw Erica play before she went on her national tour. And now she is about to leave to go on her international tour again. I guess she went on her international tour. Now she's going back out, but with Depeche Mode this time. So Erica gives such an amazing performance, and she closed the night. But The Blow gave this interactive feature that was a conversational art piece that was so funny and so touching. And it was the first time that I'd gotten to see her give her work, and it was so honest about like the experience of being an artist in the Northwest, and I was just cracking up. I loved it. It was one of the best shows I've seen this year, which seems to be a theme that I'm saying this week. I feel like when the time comes down for me to make my top 10, I have no idea what I'm going to do because I've been so blown away by shows this year. Speaking of, so then the previous show that I went to is I got to go see Slowdive with thanks to my friend Alicia on Thursday night, and wow, one of the best light shows I've ever seen. Their music is just pure candy, that really good candy that savors in your mouth and like just keeps throwing wonderful bombs. It's like the never-ending, jawbreaker that just feels so good, and you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, this is heavenly. This is so heavenly. This is so nice. So that was Slowdive. I missed the opener because it was one of the longest lines that I have seen just to get into like the pre-buy, like last buys. It was kind of weird. I've never experienced that before. So that was at Crystal. The night before that was Jesus Mary Chain, which I was bummed I missed because I'd had tickets, thanks to Crystal, to the previous show with the Warlocks. But I can't do all the things, because the night before that, I went and saw one of my favorite bands, Broken Social Scene, on Tuesday night at the Crystal Ballroom. So while everyone bought Depeche Mode tickets and was being all smug and excited about that, I was secretly brimming inside that I finally got to see Broken Social Scene. I love communities, and I like how they weave together and what they do to bring artists. And one of my favorite creative communities is absolutely the Broken Social Scene community out of Toronto, like to the point that I've like considered moving to Toronto before. I'm like, that sounds really interesting. So Feist was not there, but the rest of the band pretty much was, and they put on a like 2-hour long performance that was just, it was like hugs from your best friend. I went with my cousin. It was just like someone feeling you all over and just being like, this is so wonderful. Even after all these years, I think they've been together for something like 15, 20 at this point. They're still as good of performers. And there was a lightness to the show. Like at times they were like kicking their feet up in the air, switching instruments. I mean, every one of them can do like a solo show sold out at something like the Keller any night of the week, right? And they were all playing together, and it was stellar. So Monday night was Depeche Mode, and I was so sad to miss it, but I was pretty stoked to be able to watch my friend Tony. I work with him over at Guitar Center in Clackamas, and he had he was running the social media for Depeche Mode, and just seeing like everyone posting about their experiences and listening to the videos even online was really cool. So this was definitely one of Portland's best weeks as far as music and touring acts coming through that I've seen in a while. And this week coming up, I'm not hitting any of the really big shows, partly just because the next episode, I'm working on that, and just got a lot of cool other things going on. But as far as releases this week, that's Jimmy, Party City, and Jessica Bordeaux. If you want to be on the episodes for Mondays, please I'm going to be putting up a post on Sundays. I'm pretty much am working from home right now, Sundays through Tuesdays, and like early morning Wednesdays. And Sundays I'm mostly taking to myself. So if you want to reach out and say hi, just go ahead and send me an email at grittybirds@gmail.com, and we'll have a nice little hangout and love fest. So thanks again for tuning in, and just email me at grittybirds@gmail.com. The next episode will be going up to iTunes next week, so please check that out. And here is go to iTunes and send a review. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm getting really active on all the accounts once again now that we're rolling. So I wanted to say thank you and happy Halloween. I forgot the party. Okay. What's Halloween without a party?